What's up, everybody? Welcome to the High Level Husband Podcast. I'm Tommy McAllister. Rolling solo today, practical and tactical. I'm going to make this quick and impactful. Today's title is called 3 Keys to Growth. And so I'm going to break this down. I talk to so many men and they're like, man, I don't understand why this is happening in my life. I've been doing X, Y, and Z and nothing is changing. And I'm going to speak some personal experience from this. I'm going to speak some wisdom that I've spoken into some people recently on this as well. And just from what I've seen in my time of leading myself, my family, and other people around the world to the same process. And it's really become really, really clear to me now. And so I speak a lot of this stuff so you guys can just understand it. I try to keep it simple so you can understand it and just wrap your brains around it and be like, cool, this is very simple. This is a 3-step process, very easy. And so let's get into it. And so most people aren't stuck because of the lack of desire. They're stuck because they won't tell the truth to themselves. And so, guys, I want you to be brutally honest with some of these action steps that I'm going to have you do and just tell yourself the truth. Because I see so many people trying to deflect. That's why couples in marriage argue. They're trying to deflect the pain off them. But if we can just accept it and maybe try to find some sort of truth in it, good things happen, right? So this isn't part of the growth thing, but I'm just going to be real. Like if your wife says something, we want to throw it back at them or something. Or if somebody else says, hey, tell me like, I feel like I'll give you an example. One of my close brothers in my life, he also works for me. And for the longest time, it was just me and Diane running this ministry ourselves. But now it's just because it's grown so much. I have, 11 people working for me now. And at the time, my friend said this to me. I think we had like maybe 5 people working for us. He said, Tommy, I got to tell you this. And he did this great. He started with connection. He said, bro, I just got to tell you, you're an amazing speaker. You're an amazing coach. You lead yourself and family and others so well. He says, one area I got to challenge you in, bro, is you got to do a better job at leading us as a team in your business. And I was like, man, tell me more. And so he broke it down for me. And I was like, you're right. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't like business. I cannot stand business. I'm a business owner. I own a successful business, but I don't like business at all. I hate learning about business. I hate any of this stuff, but I do the things that I need to do because of the impact that it has. But I also hire people to put people in those roles who love those aspects of business. But so when I hired those people into those roles, I was like, they were killing it. We were growing. And so I just backed off. Well, then I started seeing some cracks in the business plan. And my friend was like, and he was challenging me. And in that moment, I was like, you're right. You're right. I got to be better. And so that 2 days later, after he told me that, we changed a bunch of things in the business. We'd have this specific culture call that we're actually doing here today, where we're leading our team and and I go through and I make sure everybody's there and I'm leading everybody so much more proficient. I had to learn that. But if I've been like, bro, don't tell me that. I own a successful business, bro. You didn't start this business. Look at me, man. Like, it is growing, dude. Like, get up out of here with that nonsense. I'm working my butt off. You go back to work and shut your mouth. But I said, well, where's there some truth in this? Yeah, he's probably right. There is some truth in this. Even though we were winning. Because of that, we're winning even more so. So my point with that part, and this isn't even part of the lesson, but is you got to be brutally honest with yourself with what I'm about to challenge in you here. So I have a friend who reached out to me recently, and he's just like, man, he's newer to the faith and all these other things. Like, but dude, like, I don't get it. Nothing's like drastically changing in my life. He said, I'm like reading the Bible. I'm going to church, I'm listening to podcasts. I'm doing this stuff, man. I'm trying to be a good person, but man, I'm still struggling mentally and financially and all these other things. And instantly I knew why. Because this very first point I'm going to tell you is why. Of the 3 ways to grow. The first point is stop doing what's not working. So a lot of people in life, they try to do new things like I'm going to church. I'm reading the Bible. I'm being a good person. I'm doing all of these things. Yes, that's great. That is better than nothing. 100%. Keep doing those things. But he hasn't stopped doing the things in life that he knows he needs to stop doing, and he knows God wants him to stop doing. Smoking weed, hanging with certain friends. There's some lust issues going on in there. And just, I could keep going. I'm not going to throw them all under the bus here. But a lot of people want to do new things while still doing the old things. But it's the old things that are blocking the new things from working. Because God can never bless sin or your disobedience because you started doing new things. I see this so often in marriage. Guys are like, man, I'm trying to rebuild trust with my wife. I'm serving her. I'm doing all these other things, but they still do all the other stuff. They still drink beer. They still watch sports too much. They still play golf too much. They still overwork. They still do all those things. They still masturbate. But they're like doing all these new things for their wife. And they're like, why am I not getting trust back? Why am I not? Because you're still doing all the old things that are blocking the new things from working. You cannot do the old stuff and get favor. That's not how God works. How do you get fruit? John the Baptist tells us, in keeping with repentance. And Jesus says, you'll know my people by their what? Fruit. So repentance is to turn from our ways. So you must turn from your ways. So I want to be very clear. What is it in your life that you need to stop doing for those new things to start working? Now, like I said, him doing those things is far better than him doing the Bible reading, the church, and all this stuff he's doing is great. It's really great. And it's better than him, even though he's still doing those other things, it's still great because he's still chipping away at like certain things and getting knowledge, but it just won't, it's like having a hose that's kinked and it's like trying to blow the pressure through. And not until you remove the kink of the sin or the distractions or the disobediences, will that finally go through? Will it happen overnight? No, but you will start to see movement. You will start to see movement. And so I'm going to break through a couple things down here for you, but I want to use an example in my life. It's crazy. For the ones watching this, I literally found this journal right here. We're purging our house right now. And I found this journal from 15 years ago. And I was reading back some of my wisdom that I was writing in it back then. And I'm not really a journal guy. That was the only time in my life I've written in a journal. And I was reading some of my stuff, man. And I was like, man, Tommy, 15 years ago, yeah, you were on fire for God, man. It's a great reminder how long we've been doing this. There's some things I definitely would have grown in. One of the things was funny in there. It was saying, I'm shy about telling people about Jesus. And what's funny about that is that's the least thing I'm shy about now, and so it's just cool to see growth. But I was looking at that. I was seeing all my wisdom. Well, that was around a time when soon after I would lose my job, quit my job, kind of the same thing. Multiple things were happening there. It's a long story. And after a few years of trying to be self-employed and God working things together for good, but just not seeing the blessings and being a very young Christian at the time, I did something that he didn't want me to do. It was the very first time in my life I'd ever heard God's voice. He told me not to do something. I did it anyways. And for the next 8 years, and what it was I was growing weed. He told me not to do it. And I did it to provide for my family, all these other things. It's a long story. I'm not going to get into it right now. But during that time I was growing weed for 8 years, I was going to church every day. I was reading the Bible. I was working out. I was listening to an insane amount of podcasts because when you grow weed, you have an insane amount of time of trimming the weed, watering the plants, planting them. And so what do? You listen to podcasts or books. I read and listened to so many books and podcasts and sermons. And I was going to church every week. I was praying, but nothing was changing. Actually, it got worse. Got worse. Because why? I didn't stop doing the thing that God asked me not to do. I started doing it, but then even though I felt convicted the whole time, I didn't stop doing it. When I stopped doing it, I promise you, the hose that I told you about opened up, and here we are, 5.5 years later. And so I needed to stop doing to get the growth. It didn't matter. All the things I was doing was never going to get me the growth. One of the funny things I always say to people with this same topic is, dude, it's like wearing a pair of underwear all day long and then sleeping in them and then waking up the next day and just putting a new pair of underwear on top of your old pair of underwear. And then just doing that same thing again, working at the gym, working at your job, doing those things, and just going to sleep in those two pairs of underwear. And the next day putting another one. You need to take off the old pair of underwear before the new one makes you actually feel fresh and clean and shower, right? Stop doing, you know what I'm saying? I know it's funny and it's kind of dumb, but it's the truth. It's the truth. So with that being said, that's the very first one. You got to stop doing before you can even grow into the new things that you're doing. So that's the very first point, is stop doing. Growth doesn't begin by adding things. It starts by removing what's weighing you down. I've used a lot of different examples on this. I have another one that came up this week, and I pointed the same thing out, was for his wife, who was doing very similar stuff. And I'm not going to get it because I've already used enough examples. You guys get my point. But be honest, like, what habits, attitudes, or distractions are keeping you stuck? It's not always sin, right? Sometimes it's like, man, I'm just watching football on Sundays and Monday Night Football. Like, that's not that big of a deal. Is it distracting you from quality time with your wife? Is it distracting you from spending time in the Word? Is it distracting you from spending quality time with your kids and talking and playing games and different things like that? Where are you wasting time, money, and energy? And what sin patterns are you tolerating? When I speak these things, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You felt convicted. You felt convicted. And this will be the rest of your life. The conveyor belt will come. God will have you remove things now, and then the next things will come. That's the sanctification process, and it's beautiful, and it gets better. Hebrews 12:1 says this: let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. Here's the crazy part about that verse. Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin. So it's not saying just sin. It's saying, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. So it's sin and things that hinder you from going and being able to getting these blessings. So let's throw those off. Stop. So my action step is like, write down today, what are those things? What are those things? Is it porn? Is it cussing? Alcohol? Watching the news? Scrolling on your phone? Overworking? Like, what is it? Be real, playing video games? What is it? You know what it is. Write a couple of them down. Start with 3. You'll see an action step on this later. And stop today. Not next week. Not, well, it's November and the New Year's is coming. No, today. Abraham rose early in the morning, and I'm telling you, this happening in my life. Things are flying right now because God's telling me to do crazy things, and I've been doing them like instantly. And it's like, dude. And I could share them on here, but then people are going to think I'm bragging. But I'm telling you, crazy things are happening. But I used to drag my feet one time for 8 years. And life got worse. Even though I had all the things of the world, my life got worse. So be brutally honest. Next, number 2 is keep doing what is working, but you have to be brutally honest with yourself in this one as well. Because when you're brutally honest with yourself in this one, you know what is working. Don't be like, well, watching football really helps me relax, and smoking weed helps me relax. So I'll probably keep that one around. No, you know the truth. You know the truth. Shoot it to yourself straight. Many people grow discouraged because they don't recognize their own progress, right? So this is, you have to realize what you're not doing, you stop, but then also what you need to keep doing. So it's like my friend's thing right there. Yeah, bro, keep reading the Bible. Dude, keep going to church. Keep listening to the podcast. Absolutely. Keep loving your daughter well, for sure. Keep doing those things. What are some other things that you're doing that you need to keep doing? Be real with yourself. What has been building fruit? Jesus says, you'll know my people by their fruit. What has been building fruit? What is fruit? Well, go look at the fruit of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, self-control. That's fruit, right? Like, what is building fruit in your life? What is making you think, feel, and be better? Be real with yourself. What is making you think, feel, and be better that you're already doing? Keep doing that. Key part of that is consistency. You have to keep doing it on a daily basis. And so the Bible verse for this is Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at that proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So keep going. Keep pushing in, being consistent with these things. Let us not grow weary, tired of doing good. And I promise you, many people are growing weary of doing good. There's been so many times along the journey where I was like, man, what's the point? But I had no other choice. It was choose my hard. Stop, and that road I already found out was hard, or keep going, and that's hard. One has an upside, one has no upside. I'm going to take the one with the upside. And it gets easier in specific aspects and harder in specific aspects, but it gets better than you ever can ask or imagine in for sure if you keep going. But never grow weary of doing good. Because you've heard me use this verse for so many times. It's Psalms 106:3. Blessed is the one who acts justly, who always does what is good. Well, what's this say? Never grow weary of doing good. For at that proper time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. But we have to stop those things. So, keep doing the things that are working. Or maybe if you don't even see the work and you're speaking life into your wife, you're praying for your wife and you don't even see the fruit from it yet, keep doing it. I promise you it works. Probably going to do a whole podcast on how to actually spiritually lead your family, even if they're not on board. Surround yourself with men who call you higher. Keep doing these things. I promise you it will compound effect. The next one is to start doing what you've been avoiding or good things you should be doing. So you're stopping doing them. You keep doing some things, and now you're starting some new things. And you can do all of this at once. This is where most men stall. You know what you should be doing, but fear, doubt, or laziness has kept you circling the same mountain. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results, right? Got to do some new stuff. Just because even if I'm doing bicep curls in the gym and I'm doing 3 sets of 10 for a weight that hits me at failure and I got this perfect routine down, eventually I can't do 3 sets of 10 anymore. Even if I'm increasing weight, I have to go to, 5 sets of 6. I got to do that for about 4 to 6 weeks. Then I got to do 3 sets of 25. Do that for a while. Then I got to do some Tabatas. Then I got to do some drop sets. I got to do some supersets. I got to mix it up, right? I got to keep doing some stuff. So my can keep doing is going to the gym and doing bicep curls, but how I go about it sometimes changes, right? So I used to pray, for me example, but now it's not just prayer. I've expanded on that prayer walk that I used to do. I do the prayer walk. I also sit in solitude. I also sit on my knees. I also just listen. I also do it in the morning and in evening. So it always constantly evolves and gets better. But for a while there, I would just do my prayer for a quick 2 minutes in bed. I do it at 2 minutes in bed at night. I would go on my prayer walk, and that would be 10, 15 minutes, and that'd be my day. But now I've expanded on it to where it's about an hour, hour and a half a day at least. Multiple times in different aspects and forms of intentional prayer. Now we should never cease praying, right? But so what I'm saying is it grows. Isaiah 43:18-19 says this: forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. So do a new thing. Let God do a new thing in you. It's time to step out. Do it. You've been wanting to do a new job? Do it. But don't do the new job because you think it's going to give you more money. Do the new job because God's calling you to do it. Don't just be like, well, I'm going to start going to the gym. Well, I want to lose some weight first so I don't look like the most overweight person there. Nobody cares. And if that person does care, who cares? Most people are stoked. When I see somebody who's out of shape at the gym, I'm like, getting it, bro. It fires me up. Doesn't matter if I'm in better shape than them. I'm pumped that they're there. I don't see them any different. Just as the same way, as long as I see somebody being obedient to God, it doesn't matter if they're a newbie or they've been doing it for 45 years. I'm pumped they're there. So start doing some new things. What are these new things? It could be working out. It could be reading the Bible. It could be going to church. It could be starting a men's group or joining a men's group. It could be tithing. It could be Sabbathing. It could be telling people about Jesus. Being obedient to what God wants you to be obedient to, sitting in solitude every day. So how do you know? Then you ask him, right? So start doing some new things that are going to be beneficial to you. Listening to podcasts, listening to sermons, serving at your church. You can do all those. I can't tithe right now because I don't have the money. Trust me. Trust me. It works. Trust me. I want to share a story so bad, but I'm not blocking my blessing. I promise you, it works. I don't care if you think you don't have the money to tithe. Do the 10%. I don't care if you don't think you don't have the money. Do it. Watch what God will do with that. Can't take a Sabbath, man. I got to earn extra money. Well, you're not putting God first in your life then and trusting him that he'll provide in 6 days more than he will in 7. You trust your 7 more than his 6. It's the truth. Start doing those things. So here's the thing. Maybe it's getting up early, praying over people, whatever it is. Keep doing these things. Start them. Pray over your wife, your kids every day. But here's the thing. These habits need to be daily. Obviously, tithing isn't daily. Sabbathing isn't daily. But you know which ones I'm talking about are daily. And it's consistency. It's doing them disciplined every single day. I don't care what your day looked like. Do it. There's no such thing as a bad day. There isn't. There's a bad moment, a bad hour, or a bad couple hours. But to keep that going is on you. It's on you. You keep it going because of your emotions and feelings. And so it turns into a bad day. And so then you go, well, I can't do my stuff today. It's been such a bad day. Create a life that you don't need a vacation from or that a bad moment can't shake. God supplies all your needs. Philippians 4, verse 19 talks about that. God supplies all your needs. Not your wife in the sack. Not your boss giving you a bag of money or you creating a bag of money. God provides. Now, you can help create that by you doing the work and doing these things that I'm here telling you here. You can get the intimacy. God will provide that intimacy with your wife by sanctifying your heart and putting you through the wood chipper so you can die to self. That's how it comes. But God provides you. He's all you need. God is all you need. So, stop. Here's the action step. Stop. Write down 3 things you are going to eliminate and stop today. Number 2, and stop. It's not in and out, back and forth. Grace is from when it stops you from doing these things, but the American Western churches move grace to afterwards. No, it's before. Grace stops you. It talks about stopping you from doing these things. Go look up in Titus. It stops you from doing it. It's not afterwards. Now, will God give you if you fall? Sure, he'll give you grace afterwards too. But grace should stop you. That's why he says, for my grace is sufficient, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Paul was wanting to remove this temptation or something from his life, this thorn he called. But God said, no, my grace is sufficient. It'll stop it itself. So it'll still be there, but you don't need to act on it. But the Western church moved that and goes, no, let's just put it afterwards because I just want you guys to keep coming. So, hey, if you guys are masturbating every day and you guys are still getting drunk and doing all these things, hey, no worries. Give yourself grace. Wrong. That's wrong. That's not biblical. Giving yourself grace is not biblical. Grace is before it stops you from doing it because God's grace is sufficient. Sufficient. Enough. Will you be tempted? Sure. But I promise you, if you go long enough to not giving in, and it's been years, you won't even think about it. I have no idea how long I've not been a drug addict for anymore. Years. Oxycontin was my main drug, snorting it up my nose left and right. Guess what? I have no idea how long that's been. I have a ballpark, I figure 21 years, maybe 21 years. You know why I don't know anymore? Because I'm a new creation. Stop telling yourself, my name's Billy and I'm a alcoholic and I've been sober for haven't drinking in 18 years. No, you're not an alcoholic. You're a new creation. So what are you? Are you not a new creation or are you a new creation? You decide. Which one is it? Stop telling yourself you're an addict. You're an addict if you keep doing those things, sure. So write down 3 things, stop doing them. Number 2, identify habits that are producing fruit. Write down 3, keep doing them. If you feel like you want to stop more than 3, go for it. If you want to write down more than 3 that you're going to keep doing, keep it. Write them down, but you've got to identify them. And people say when they write down their goals, it's like 60-something% more is going to happen. Don't just go, oh, this is a great lesson. Yeah, I'll think about that. No, do it. Write it down. Stop your car. Write these things down. Wherever you're at, gym, put the sets down. Start writing these out. Promise it could produce more fruit than the gym. And believe me, I love the gym. Lastly, start. Choose some new bold actions that you're going to start. 3, because you just stopped 3. You can do 3. And make them feel uncomfortable, but they will launch your growth. James 1:22 says, do not merely deceive yourselves by knowing the word of God. Do what it says. So go same thing with this, guys. This is inspired by God. Do what it says. I love you guys. Truly, I'm hard. Do you think I choose to do this because it's just like I wanted to do it as a kid? No. I do this because God told me to do it. And I'll be obedient. But this is from me stopping, keeping, and starting. Make it happen. Love you guys. And if this impacted you, rate it 5 stars, please. Give us a subscriber, a follow. If you want coaching to me walk you through a full system and process of blowing your life through the roof, click the link below and get some coaching. If not, share this with a friend. Share it. Keep listening. Love you guys.